So in your job search, it's really important to know what the company is looking for. What you might be aiming for is actually different from what the company wants to hire for. So as a job seeker, we're going to be sharing about what the United Kingdom companies and employers are looking for in job seekers to help you out, especially give you a glimpse from the perspective of the recruiters and what really stands out to them. Hey friends, welcome to Chine Coaching. I'm Rob, and we love helping internationals be successful in your cross-cultural journey, in your career search. And while we'll be talking about the UK today, I think this will be helping any job seeker anywhere in the world today, especially in a Western culture country. And we've got great guests with Simi and Mithun to share their experience, their career search, and working there in the UK as well. So friends, please go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Thank you so much, Rob. So hello, everyone. I believe that at least some of you might be familiar with my face. My name is Simi and I'm from Kerala, India. I'm an international student at the University of Northampton. I'm almost towards the end of my student phase. Actually, I'm on a placement route. So while I was a student, I was also working part-time at the University of Northampton. So I'm proud to say that I've been hired by the university itself. First, I was the social media ambassador for the university, and then I was hired as a casual staff, handling a lot of student-related job. And I was also a volunteer, volunteering into student mentoring, helping them through their career journeys, helping them to make move from their home country to the UK. It's handling a lot of jobs related to education, mentoring, and counseling. And then I landed up a job for a company called Chorus, which is based in Austin, Texas. I'm working as a social media coordinator for the company. And the reason why I'm sitting here with you with so much of happiness and so much of pride is because of the person that is very next to me. His name is Mithun Mohan. He's a very close friend of mine. So he's actually the one who has helped me land in the job that I want, because I was going through a lot of depression and a lot of mental anxiety, because it is a real struggle for any international student to come to this country and land in a job. So I also been through the same stage. So it is at that point that I met Mithun, and it is through his mentoring and guiding me through how to actually crack the UK job market that I landed up in the job. So I think it's very, very important to share and spread the information with my friends and everyone watching this video. So yeah, Mithun himself, he was an international student what's cracked the job market, because when Mithun was here, we didn't have something called the post-study work visa. He hardly had like 4 months to remain in the UK. So within that very, very short span of time, he landed up in a work visa. So I think that's something very inspirational, and that actually moved me like, wow, this guy is really good then. So yeah, I think, Mithun, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
To sum it up, I'm a recruiter and a talent acquisition specialist. So I help candidates navigate through the job market because I'm essentially the middleman between the employer and the candidate. So I manage expectations and I create a sustainable relationship. So I need to be sure of what the candidate expectations are and what the employer expectations are. So then I work towards clearing it. And that's pretty much what I do. I'm connected to over 1,000 clients in the healthcare industry. And the name of my company is Flexi Recruits. You can look it up. We are also dealing with the international market, the overseas market, and the local homegrown candidates, and placing them in sustainable opportunities as well. It's pretty much what I do. I'm a double master's holder and an MBA graduate from the University of Bedfordshire.
We're going to talk so much about some great, special, helpful tips for you guys in your job search. Be sure to check out the other video we've made with Mithun and Simi about the future of jobs, especially now that Brexit is in play, the impacts of visas and job opportunities for the future of the UK. So be sure to check out that video. We'll have the link for that. But now we're going to help teach you guys how to get jobs. I think one of the most important things is experience. So how can people, job seekers, get work experience and show work experience in their job search?
Before moving to the UK, I hardly had like core experience of just 8 or 9 months, which is not actually a big deal. But while I was doing my MBA in India, I was actually a placement coordinator, which was more or less like a student role. I was totally unaware that all those volunteering experience would actually sum it up to real work experience. But since from Mithun, I got this information that any job that you do, be it part-time, full-time, paid, unpaid, student job, volunteering job, anything and everything counts the work experience. And that actually helped me land in a job at the University of Northampton and also at this company, Chorus, which is based in Austin. So now I think we'll just pass that question. So this is from my core experience. Any experience that I did helped me in landing a job. So I'll pass the baton to Mithun and take it forward.
Showing work experience, displaying work experience. It is dependent on what opportunity you're looking at and what opportunity you want to apply for. So suppose I come to the UK and I really want to apply for the sales role, but I've done no sales in the past, right? Then we come to the concept of leveraging your experience. So what role have you worked in the past? So I've worked as a waitress in the past, right? So now how can you leverage your experience of working as a waitress for this sales role? So then you can say that, and your answers or your points in your CV or wherever you articulate your experience, you have to be specific, measurable, achievable, result-oriented, and time-bound. So you have to give a smart reply, basically. So as my experience as a waitress for this particular company, I was able to reduce the number of customer complaints by 10% or 20% in a time of 3 months. So that's effectively something that you can do to leverage your experience and carry it over to the sales role, right? That's just an example, right? So you need to have this constant process. So what are you applying for? And where do you need to display your experience? Okay, fine. I need to display my experience for this placement coordinator role. I've only worked as a waitress. Now, how do I leverage that experience over? Right. Dealing with more than 100 customers a day, managing their expectations, managing waiting times, managing ordering times, and managing inventories, and how you actually manage the stakeholders and manage expectations pretty much. And you carry all that and you leverage it to this placement coordinator role. I mean, that's just, very broad example. So you need to know how to leverage your experience. You need to know bit of a very, very imperative statement. You need to decode how to approach leveraging your experience. That's very important thing. And now the second question was, how do you get your experience? You can get your experience as you've clearly outlined. Volunteering, get involved with the local community. For example, lots of us, we've got involved in late April with the council here to help to help in the COVID. We had the local community just delivering groceries and things like that. So all this can be shown in your CV and will back up your rationale as a person who has the initiative to actually be proactive in a challenging environment. So the combination of the two is the answer to your question.
I would just like to quote something from what Mithun said, like from the COVID, during the COVID time, I had been the COVID ambassador for my university. I had worked at the COVID test center at the university. So all these are something that's not related to what I studied. It has nothing to do with international marketing, but it shows that I am adaptable. Like when there is a challenging situation, I have adapted my skills, like importance of transferable skills. So all those skills that I learned in a COVID ambassador role, like managing crisis, handling people, making escalations, reporting incidents. So all these, I can add it up in my CV. So it doesn't matter what job that you're actually doing, whether it's paid or unpaid. How can you brilliantly transfer those skills to impress that particular employer? That's all
Yeah.
it takes.
And those things definitely help put on display your soft skills like leadership, teamwork, problem solving, communication, which are really important, especially in Western countries that companies are looking for. And one question I'll ask you guys is, what might be a difference in the UK of what recruiters and companies are looking for, especially in their recruitment process, that might be different than maybe back home in India?
when a company approaches recruitment, lots of the metrics that we look for is pretty much same over the world, right? You have lots of tools to help us now. You have the applicant tracking software, and then you have lots of maths and English assessments. You have aptitude assessments. You have, group discussions and all that stuff, right? But pretty much the metric in a candidate is the same. Now, so then that brings us the question, okay, so then what is really different in the UK? The difference is what you rightly pointed out in the beginning of our session, cross-cultural learning. It's a little maze. It's like a Rubik's Cube, right? So how you go about the Rubik's Cube is up to you. What's the end result? The end result is to match all the colors. So then you can use whatever algorithm you want. You can use flood fill, you can use algorithm A, B, C, it's up to you. But how you navigate the cross-cultural learning, not many recruiters or not many books are going to talk about this because it's very, very implicit and very sensitive, the nature of discussion. So when I say navigate cross-cultural learning, okay, fine, then that's again very broad. So it is basically to understand the jargon of the job, right? What language you have to speak. So as recruiters, we always say, talk in their language. So you understand the employer. If the employer is a small or medium business, what are they looking for? They're looking for growth. They're looking for a growth strategist. They're looking for a specialist who will actually add fuel to the fire, right? Okay, if it's a bigger company, what are you essentially doing? Okay, you are an accounts executive. All right, what do I do as an accounts executive? I become a part of a process and I make sure that process is on point. So then you show the initiative of how to make the process more efficient. Whereas in a startup or in a small or medium business, you have to make sure that what you're doing is effective and efficient in terms of the bigger picture of the company, right? And how your cog which turns affects the other cogs, because you can't work as an independent entity, right? So you need to understand all these things, or all these dynamics, and the way how you speak in your interview, or the way how you articulate your experience. All this is important in the perspective of the answer to your question. So all this will, it will cascade in terms of making you a valuable asset to a company, and effectively becoming a valuable asset and offering upfront value is what recruiters look for, whether it's going to be in UK, in India, in Oman, Saudi Arabia, anywhere it's going to be, right? But it's just navigating that cross-cultural terrain, which is going to be the make or break for you. It took me, I'm not going to say that I've figured it out. I'm definitely not going to say that. But I am going to say that I'm kind of getting there in terms of understanding, okay, what is the expectation? When a client says a statement, what do they really want to get to? Because on the basis of that, we're having success in placing people, isn't it? So without understanding expectations and not understanding that topography, we won't be able to get to the right place. So this should also come from the candidate side as well. Once you get your heads around that, then you're flying. You will think, why am I writing this in my CV? Asking the questions why, keeping your ears open, paying attention to the right kind of jargon. You go to a healthcare interview, you talk about safeguarding, you talk about your care plans, you talk about infection control. They love it. They love it. They're going to be like, okay, have you done training? Yes, I've done training. Have you had an experience? No, I've not had any experience, but then, I've looked after vulnerable adults in India. I've been a part of a pain and palliative care, right? So I've gone out of my way to, take care of them and deliver the right quality of care and make sure the commissioning is on point. So now, if you talk in this way, then suddenly you're having a very different conversation with the employer. The HR or the employer is caught off guard, and the employer says, all right, fair enough. what else do you know, or what other skills do you bring onto the table? So it's pretty much what punch you pack. Well, yes, that's right, isn't it? So
Mhm.
what punch you pack when you deliver that statement and when you go in for the kill.
I like what you
Well,
said. It's about communicating your unique value, and those things are going to help you stand out. And those are some great illustrations that you shared. So thank you, Mithun. And our chai question for this video is, which part of the job search process is most difficult for you? So you guys who are watching, tell us in the comments, is it resume building? Is it applying for jobs? Is it networking? Is it the interview? Is it negotiating details and salary? Let us know. Tell us in the comments what's the most difficult part of the job search process for you guys, and have some good discussion there. But Simi, she wants to share some helpful tips that she's learned and some feedback that she's got and learned from her job search. So please, what are some of those keys and nuggets that you've learned, Simi, that you want to share with people for their job search?
All right. So first thing that I want to say is that no employer is going to give you feedback unless you ask for it. So be proactive and reach out to the employer. Maybe you feel like, okay, that job is you are the one for the job and you are going to hit it straight away after the interview. But then after a week, you get that you're rejected, and then you need to know like why you were rejected, for that particular job. So one of my recent feedback that actually boosted my confidence to the next level, because out of the 50 or 60 applicants for the same job, just 7 applications were shortlisted for the interview, and I was one among them. And my first, the employer will point out what your positive things are, and then they'll come to the negative points. So the interviewer, she was very liberal. She was very helping, because she just pointed out that the passion, the enthusiasm, and the zeal that I have in me, that was something that they loved the most. So that actually, so now I know that what my strengths are. And then coming to the next part, the weakness, they told me that I speak very fast, so that it's difficult for them to understand what I'm being, what I'm actually trying to convey. So manage your pace, and that's actually a part of. Then I had this conversation with Mithun, and he said that that's actually part of the cross cultural train, because we Indians tend to speak a lot faster, but in UK you just have to slow down that pace. Is that right, Mithun?
Mhm.
no, no, absolutely not. Rate of speech.
Mm.
It's a global concept. Yeah, you just keep your rate of speech where you can actually be certain
Mm-hmm.
that the other person can cognitively
Yeah.
follow
Mm-hmm.
with every concept that you're sort of um, recounting.
Okay.
So
Yeah, but it is true that Indians, especially South Indians like Tamil and Malayali,
yeah,
not their mother tongue is a much faster rate of speech of words per minute. Therefore,
Yeah.
their
absolutely.
English is
Yeah.
much faster, just
Yeah.
because you have your native mother tongue culture. So you have to work extra hard to communicate in a way that's not super fast, so it's hard for people to understand you like this, but slow and
Yes.
steady and clear, especially
Yeah.
for Malayali and Tamil speakers. So
Absolutely.
that's just an important reality to understand.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just told the interviewer that I come from the media background back in India. I've been a corporate presenter for the last 5 years. So, back then, my KPI was within the time constraints. I have to deliver as much as information as possible. So, I've been trained for doing that job for the last 5 years. And now I moved to the UK. I'm new to the job market. So, I'm just getting to know things, right? And with the help of Mithun and a lot of other resources that I referred to, I learned to actually slow down my pace and talk a little more slowly. And then the next thing is that don't just flush out all the information that you have. That's the second negative point that I got. Like, she told me that, Simi, we know that you know a lot of things, but you need not pour out everything from your head and put it on the table. Just be very crisp and concise, answer to the point. You just have to break it down, all the bullet points, and then add a little bit of explanation here and there. You don't have to just pour out a lot of information. So that's the second negative point that I got. And the third one, it's not like something that I have to brush upon, but a lot of candidates, it's very important to answer every question using the star approach. I just can't emphasize on this, because every question that I had was, they didn't ask me about my grades for my MSc or my grades for my MBA. all the questions were actually framed based on scenario, all were scenario based questions. If this is the situation, what are you going to do? Or tell us about an incident where you displayed your leadership skills. Tell us about a time when you showed that you are a team player. So you just can't blatantly say something about that. You just have to break it down into situation, task, action, result. More of like a storytelling, right, Mithun?
Mhm.
So craft
Result and reflection.
craft it in a way that it engages with the audience, and also you are just answering and displaying your skills relevant to that question. Don't keep beating around the bushes, be to the point. So that's something that it will come with practice. And also make sure that you read the job description very, very well, because they're going to pinpoint questions from that. They're going to give out the scenarios from that, and you must have something in your head, like when you make your interview preparation, so that you can just display it there, and keep abreast with the mission, vision, and the purpose of the company. So that's again some of the highlights that the interviewer told about me, because I was very much abreast with what was happening in that company. And that actually helped getting into a discussion at the end of the interview. Like, they were asking about what can you bring to the company if you were employed. So yeah, basically I was just having a very good conversation with the employer, even though I didn't get to the job. So is there anything that you want to add?
No, it's just do your homework.
Yeah.
So,
And also feedbacks will actually help you improve your confidence. You will get to know that what are the areas which are your positive points and which are your negative points, so you can just work on it. So be proactive to go and ask out for feedback. They are not going to give you feedback, you just have to go and ask it all by yourself.
Thank you so much, Simi and Mithun. I learned so much, and I really hope you guys who are watching really put into application what they shared. It's one thing to hear it, it's another thing to do it. This is some great practical advice to help you guys out. If this video was helpful, give a big like and thumbs up to say thanks to Simi and Mithun for sharing their experiences with you guys.
Thank you so much, guys, and we hope that this video had been helpful for many of you out there. So Mithun, why don't you just wish them all good luck, and
good luck. Happy job hunting.
yes.
And
Definitely.
I hope you come into our head hunting radar.
Be sure to connect with us online. We'll have the links in below for social media, and be a part of the Chine coaching community to help you guys out, be more successful. Be sure to check out their other video as well about the future of jobs in the UK. Some great information there about visas and post-study work stuff with Brexit. And thanks for joining us. We love it when you guys tune in with us at Chine Coaching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.